All right, let's get right into it. You know, we've always looked up at the stars and asked that big question: are we alone? And every once in a while, something happens up there that makes that question feel, well, really urgent. Today, we're going to talk about a mysterious visitor to our cosmic neighborhood. But what's really interesting is what our reaction to it, our immediate rush to explain it, tells us about ourselves. So get this. A totally strange, unknown object is spotted just streaking through our solar system. Scientists are scrambling to figure out what it is, but before they can even get a handle on it, a completely different theory just catches fire with the public. Is this thing just a rock from another star system, or could it be something else entirely? So let's break down how this all went down. It all kicked off on July 1st, 2025. Down at the Atlas facility in Chile, they spotted this unusual object. They gave it the name 3I/Atlas. And that little I in the name, it stands for interstellar, which means this thing is not from around here. It's a visitor from that mind-boggling emptiness between the stars.
And almost instantly, you get these two completely different stories. On one hand, you have the scientists. They're looking at the data and they're like, okay, looks like an interstellar comet. But then this other, way more exciting idea takes root online, that it's not a comet at all, it's a spaceship. So the real question is, why do we do that? Why is aliens so often the first place our minds go?
And that question right there is what we're really gonna dig into. Because this impulse, this need to fill in the cosmic blanks with these wild, fantastic stories, it's not really about one weird object in space. It's about a pattern of thinking that is just deeply human. I mean, think about it. For as long as there have been mysteries, we've made up stories to solve them. When our brains see something we don't get, we just can't help it. We rush to find a cause, an explanation, any explanation. And throughout history, that explanation has usually been something, well, pretty extraordinary. Here's a perfect example from way back in ancient Greece. It's a simple three-step process. First, you've got an event. The sea gets super violent and stormy. Second, you've got the mystery. They have no clue what's causing it. So what happens? Third, they leap to a conclusion. Poseidon, the god of the sea, must be furious. Boom, mystery solved, right? Now, it's really easy for us to look back and call that ancient superstition. But this habit of plugging a higher power into the gaps of our knowledge isn't just for ancient sailors. Oh no, it's a tool that's been used by some of the most brilliant people who have ever lived. Let's talk about Sir Isaac Newton for a minute. Newton was a genius. His laws of gravity pretty much mapped out the entire solar system with stunning mathematical precision. He figured it all out. But his own math showed him a huge problem. He realized that Jupiter's massive gravity should, over millions of years, slowly tug on Earth's orbit, stretching it out until eventually our planet gets yeeted right out of the solar system. But yeah, obviously that hasn't happened. We're still here. So for Newton, the math was solid, but it didn't match reality in the long run. He couldn't find a flaw in his calculations, so he came to the only conclusion he could think of. Something supernatural was going on. A divine hand had to be reaching in and constantly course-correcting our orbit, keeping everything stable. And you know what? There's actually a name for this kind of thinking. It's called God of the Gaps. It's this idea that whatever science can't explain at the moment, whatever gap there is in our knowledge, well, that must be the work of God. Newton was brilliant, for sure, but when he hit the absolute limit of his understanding, he just filled that gap with God. And if you look at history, what we use to fill those gaps, it changes. Back in ancient times, it was a whole bunch of gods, like Zeus and Poseidon. Then, for people like Newton, it became a single, divine creator. But then in the 20th century, something shifted. After the World Wars, with the rise of airplanes and rockets, a new candidate showed up to explain the unexplained: aliens. Suddenly, aliens became the perfect explanation for weird lights in the sky or any other cosmic mystery. Which brings us right back to where we started. Because this whole buzz around 3I/Atlas, it's not the first time this has happened. Not by a long shot. Do you remember Oumuamua back in 2017? It was the very first interstellar object we ever saw. And unlike 3I/Atlas, we still don't really know what it was. It was shaped weird, it was tumbling in a weird way, and it sped up as it left our solar system for reasons we couldn't quite explain. That was the gap. Because of that gap, the alien probe theory got serious consideration, even from some top scientists. It's the exact same pattern. So what's the big deal? Who cares if we imagine it's aliens? It's fun, right? Well, the problem isn't the imagining part. The problem is what happens when that easy answer makes us stop looking for the real one.
These kinds of easy answers, some people call them curiosity killers, and it's for a really good reason. Think about it. If you ask, how were the pyramids built? And someone just says aliens did it, well, you're not really giving an answer, are you? You're just swapping one mystery for an even bigger one. It feels like an answer, but what it really does is just shut down the conversation. It stops us from asking better questions about engineering and culture and history. It slams the window shut on real discovery. Okay, so if God did it and aliens did it are just dead ends, what are we supposed to do when we're faced with something we genuinely cannot explain? Well, the alternative is actually incredibly simple, but it is so powerful.
It all comes down to three little words, probably the three most important words in all of science. I don't know. Now I get it. Saying that can feel like you're admitting defeat, but it's not. It is the launch pad for all knowledge. It's the phrase that throws the window of discovery wide open instead of slamming it shut. It's basically an invitation to start the real, exciting work of finding out.
There's this old proverb that just nails it perfectly. True wisdom isn't about already having all the answers. It's about knowing what you don't know, and then having the curiosity to start asking the questions that get you closer to the truth. To not know, and then to not even ask, that's the only real ignorance.
So, the next time there's a mystery, whether it's another Oumuamua, a weird signal from a distant star, or even just some puzzle in our own lives, we all have a choice to make. Are we going to reach for that easy answer that just kills curiosity? Or are we going to be brave enough to embrace the uncertainty, to say, I don't know, and then start that incredible journey of actually finding out?